Alright guys, let's see if we can try to get this to work this time. Alright, well we're live. Let's see how it goes. For those of you who did try to join me the first time, I apologize. Apparently I lost the internet. And now I have an echo in my ear. Oh well. We'll try to figure this out. Okay, so today we're going to be working on our yellow brick road table runner. No, quilt. Sorry. So let's try to get that set up. I'm a little all over the place because this whole internet threw me off, but we'll get there. And I don't think the chat bot is working, so that's fun. And again, I have an echo in my ear, so lots of fun things today. All right. That music is a little loud. Turn it down a little bit. There we go. Maybe it's just loud for me. There we go. You guys can't hear it at all. There. That might be bad. There. Sorry guys. Let me just a minute here. Audio's off. Everything's off today. Sorry. Alright, well we'll try the see how that works. And the mic seems a little loud too. Okay. Yellow brick road. Last week we had sewn up a bunch of panels and then we were getting ready to start cutting those up. Let's see what we've got so far. Oh right, we had one little panel that I had to pull apart because I sewed it wrong. So we're going to sew up that one first. Why don't we cut the other ones first and then sew that one? We'll do that. If you have just joined me, please say hello in chat so I know you're there. The bot is supposed to be working, but I don't think it is. I set up a couple of new fun things over the weekend, or I guess last week, and I don't know that they're working. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right. Now it looks like we're going to be sewing, so we sewed these up this way, and now we're going to cut them this way. And I think I can probably cut up a couple layers at a time. So let me line these up on my, I'm going to line them up here. Let's get this moved up here. And the echo in my ear is really weird. But I guess if anything, it'll keep me from talking too loud because I can hear it. Alright, let's line those up. Hi Lucas, good morning. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully I can keep the internet this time. Hey Lucas, let me know what the quality looks like, if the videos looks better, or I think the audio is probably crap. but apparently this headset is not as nice as I thought it was. That's alright. We'll figure it out. Since there's a seam on these, I'm actually going to stagger them. So then that way I don't have too much bulk underneath the ruler. That's the word. And I think the rest of these are long ones, aren't they? Yeah, these are the long ones. Okay, so let's cut these up first, since they're the shorter ones. And we'll go from there. I'm going to spin this way. Line it up on a line. Give myself a nice clean cut. Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope you are all having an awesome weekend. We just finished up our monthly breakfast with our kids, which means that this would be the 4th or 5th live stream I've done so far, because the first one I did was the same thing, so that's exciting. Yay to me. And yay to you guys for joining me. Alright. Oh yeah. Alright. Everything is everywhere. Pattern here. Okay. Now again, this isn't my pattern, so I can't share the cutting sizes with you, but I'm sure you guys can probably figure them out if you're smart and paying attention. But I'm not gonna say it with them out loud. Quality video is pretty good. The audio for me at least is good at most times, but at a few others it sounds like static and it cuts in and out. Okay. I can still hear everything fine now. Okay. Well, I'm using a new headset. Well, new to the channel anyway. It's not really new, so I think the quality of it is kind of sucks. So I'm gonna have to find something better. But for today, it'll work. We'll get through it. The stream will probably be shorter than normal, just because I started late because of all the internet issues. Sorry about that. But that's okay. We'll get something done today. Alright, so I need same size as the last one. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here, though. Oof, I could hear that too. That is awful. Let me try this. Give me a second, guy. Okay, how about that? It's a little far away, but hopefully it's a little bit clearer. I'll get a new headset for next time. It was worth a shot. The good news is that you're not going to hear the echo anymore that we had it last week. I figured that out. I wish the chat bot was working, but it's not. Always something. There's those. Again, every time you move the fabric, you want to make sure you make a fresh cut so that everything is perfectly lined up. And then I need 2 of those. So we had virtual breakfast with all of our kids. So that was a lot of fun. I always enjoy those. They mean a lot to me and my husband. We really enjoy those. We get to see the kids all at one time and they all chat together, and it's kind of like when they were kids. I enjoy it. I hope they do too. I think they do. At least they say they do. Some of them might pop in here and say hello. We'll see. Most of them had school and stuff to do, so that's okay. Trying to figure out the best way to do this here. I think I'm going to spin this. All right, 3.5. Okay, now these pieces are going to be big enough to hang on to. We might need those later for crumbs or things. Those leaders that we had in that one up video. So I'm going to hang on to these. I don't know where, but I'm going to hang on to them somewhere. Guess I need another bin. All right, 3.5. Next. Now these are longer, so we're actually going to cut these double, or folded in half, I guess. Keep them folded. Line these up. Angel is with us, so you might see her pop in. She's been rather ornery today. But, you know, with as old as she is, I guess she's allowed. All right. Now when I'm lining these up, I'm trying to make sure that the edges are pretty close together. And I also want to make sure the seams are lining up, because that's really what's determined as to how we're going to be cutting these. So if you can't get those things lined up, that's okay. Just cut them one at a time. So then that way you make sure everything is nice and straight. And this ruler's not long enough. Good thing I grabbed the bigger one. But because I grabbed the bigger one, I need my weight. The last few weeks, I've moved things around in here, and now I can't find anything. I have no idea what I did with the weight. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna have to wing it. I have no idea. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Aha! I found it. Okay, So sorry about the late start. I had some internet issues apparently. I have figured out how to hardwire my laptop in, but doing so apparently made it so that I had to reset the modem. So it's interesting. And then I set the video to go live so that you guys could get the countdown, but then the internet kicked out, but it never turned the live off. So then I had to try and figure out how to turn the live off so that I could put a new one on. It was challenging, to say the least. So that might be why the bot's not working. I'm not sure. Which is unfortunate because I had set up some pretty fun things to do today, but it is what it is. There we go. Those are too small to do anything with. I grabbed the weight and never put it on. Better late than never. Thank you, Lucas. There we go. All right. Give myself just a little bit extra so that I can make a nice clean cut. Uses up a little bit more fabric, but at least this way, you know, everything lines up perfectly. And you only need to do that when you're moving the fabric. If you're just moving your ruler, you don't need to do that. So now we're just cutting up the subcuts. And then we'll probably be sewing these together, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. That one didn't cut. There we go. There we go. Alright. Let's see what we got here. So I think there's enough here to do what we need to do. So now I'm going to unfold these so that we can get another set of cuts out of them. Should be able to get one more cut out of these. Let's check and see how many of these we need. 12. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sweet. So hopefully we will have enough. So I was saying the weather looks beautiful outside, but it's another one of those deceiving days because it looks absolutely gorgeous, but it's cold one day. Figures, right? I'm not gonna have enough. Okay, well. Oh wait, we still have that one more piece. Oh, we will have enough. Okay, good. So I'm gonna do 1/6 and 2 of those. Okay. So these. I forgot we still have that one more set that we need to sew together and then cut up. So there should be plenty. I'm really excited we might actually get to sew up some blocks today. We'll have to wait and see. Those. And then the next one. Gosh. Actually, I'm going to flip this around. When the cuts get smaller like this, I like to spin it and go the other way. It makes it easier for me to make sure I get it accurate. Those can be extras too. Okay. Alright, so let's pull the machine out and sew up these 2 strips here that we screwed up last time. And then we can cut those. Sorry, it's gonna be loud. I don't think you guys can hear the music. I can hear it, but now I don't think you can. So, oh well, I'll figure it out one day. Once again, we need to change out our thread. I always have the wrong color in here. white. I think I did another. Another black. I don't have another white. I should probably do another roll. I'll do it later. Okay. I see a little dust in here, so I'm just gonna pull this up. I'll dust it real quick. Yep, a little bit of gross. Should probably pull the vacuum out, but I won't. I'll do that off camera. Any recommendations for someone who is just starting out with sewing? What machines or how they should practice? Just start. You could get a really cheap machine from any of your local stores, really. Brother is probably one of the cheapest machines. Singer is another one. They're a little more pricey, but you can pick up a machine for less than $100, and they have a lot of them at like Goodwill or resale stores like that. You can get a lot of them there. You know, they have you making pillows and stuffed animals, and they have you making patterns, apparel, fabric patterns when you're in school, when you're starting out there. I don't know that that's really the best way to start. For me, the best way for me, buy a cheap machine, don't put any thread in it, just a needle, and run it through some paper. Just regular paper. Lined paper is good. Make some squiggles on some paper and move it through. And basically that's just going to teach you how to use the machine and how to feed it through and things like that. Obviously, YouTube is a great source. I should probably put this plate back on first. But yeah, if it's something you're really interested in doing, it's not a hard hobby. It's actually a really easy hobby. You just have to have a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. And a lot of practice. Good question. I'm not an expert, but I do love teaching. That's something that I've always been passionate about. And so that's why we're here. And as I'm looking at this, I think my needle might be bent. So I'm going to switch out my needle real quick because I don't want to risk it. Speaking of starting new things, if you're going to start this hobby, sewing machine is definitely a must. Extra needles, definitely a must. Pair of snips or scissors. You can just use regular scissors if you have them, but I like the snips better. Obviously thread, bobbins, are a couple of things. Most sewing machines, at least a new one, is going to come with all of those pieces. They're usually hidden in this thing here. I think mine is empty, but I can show you real quick. So I always pull my stuff out. Oh no, it's in here. It's in here. It's got a little tray with all the pieces in it. This is all your presser feet and all your tools and everything else. Usually comes right with it. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. There's a ton of presser feet that things come with. I just use a couple of them until I really figure out what the rest of them are. I had to buy the 1/4-inch presser foot. That's a separate piece that didn't come with my machine. I understand it can come with some machines, but not mine. Same thing with the walking foot. You guys have seen me use that. This big one here. Walking foot. That one doesn't come with all machines. It comes with some, but not all of them. So that might be an investment you'll need to make at some point. But I didn't start out with one. I started out with just a regular presser foot, the one that comes with the machine. The best thing you can do is just start. Just don't worry too much about what special tools you need or any of that. Just find a machine, inexpensive, that sews, and start from there. Like I said, my very first machine was a Brother. Baby Lock is a brand of Brother. And that one was probably less than $100 at Walmart or Meijer or somewhere. I got it as a gift, but I know how much it was. And that's how I started. I used to sew from my grandma. My grandma had a Kenmore, for those of you in the other age era. She had a Kenmore. My great-grandmother had a Singer. My mom has a Singer. And now she has a Genome. That's a mother of a machine. But you just kind of start. Just like any hobby. Do a little research. Buy a couple of tools. And just start. And Lucas, if you're really looking to start, I might have an extra machine. Okay, I hate it when I can't find the hole. No jokes. Let's see, keep it clean here, guys. This is what happens when I decide to change the needle. Jeez. Come on. The worst of it is I can't change my mind now. You know, I'm kind of committed. I kind of have to put it in now. Why am I having such a hard time? Alright. You're going to see something we don't normally do on this channel. I have to tip the machine. Which is not something I like to do. But I'm not going to be given any choice here. I swear, today is a day of nothing but trouble. First it was the live stream stuff, now it's the machine. I'm starting to think that the universe did not want me to do a live today. And yes, I know you're not supposed to tip the machine like this, but sometimes, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. I cannot get this needle in. What is going on today? Keep that in mind, since I've been watching your streams and videos, it made me want to try and start sewing. It's also personal reasons, but I find it interesting. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. And that is probably one of the best compliments anyone has ever given me. And if you want a couple of free lessons, since you'll be in the area, you're welcome to come by. Okay. Good news, needle is finally in. Lord. But now I have crap everywhere. But yeah, Goodwill has pretty good ones. Oh, there we go. Alright, now I gotta plug everything back in. Boy, this is not what you signed up for today, is it? Lord. What did I do now? Oh, okay, good. Okay, all of that for a new needle. Lord. Okay. But yeah, Goodwill is a great place to look for a new machine. I mean, obviously there's the internet. You don't need anything fancy. This one here is a baby lock, this machine here. And it's my fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Fifth one. This is my fifth machine. So work your way up. Start cheap and keep working up. I like the Baby Lock brand, which is also Brother. Baby Lock is the more expensive version of the Brother. So I have 2 Brothers. One of them is in here. That one's my traveling machine. So every time I go to a class or a retreat, things like that, I take that one with me. Then I have another one that's in the garage that's an extra machine. So that in the event that this one goes down and needs service, or that one's down and needs service, I have that third one, which seems like a bit much. And then I have a vintage machine in the basement at my mom's house. I haven't taken that one out in a long time. I think that one's a Singer. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at that one in a while. So, you know, when you get into this hobby, if it's something you really, truly are passionate about, you somehow end up collecting them. Machines, anyway. Machines, fabric, thread, needles, pins, notions, all kinds of stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be recommending this. Oh my god, it's one thing after the other today. No, there we go. Okay. Oh, you little bastard. Come on. You don't need threads you don't need machines that thread themselves, but it is convenient. All of the Brothers that I have do that. That's one of the reasons why I like Brothers. You don't need a machine that cuts the thread itself. You can do that on your own with a pair of scissors or snips. You know, those are all things that are nice to have, but you don't need them. Hey, Streamlabs working. Thanks, Lucas. About time it showed up. And hopefully, if you just type in hi, it should come up with that welcome message that you recommended. I think I set that up correctly. Okay, all that. So you sew 2 pieces together. Lord. It's fun though. I enjoy it. I always have. Oh, I guess it didn't work. Well, you know, just means I set it up wrong again. Oh no, it did work! Yay! It's the little things in life. All right, let's get this. Let's get to actually sewing something, shall we? Let's get screwing around. All right. Of course, Angel's under my feet. Angel, can you move, please? Thank you. All right. It's gonna get loud here, guys. Sorry. Just a pinch. There we go. Remember, with these long pieces, you don't want to stretch, because see, I can pull on this, and you can see it stretching. I don't want to do that. I'm just holding it. That's all I'm doing. I'm letting the machine do the work. What are the hug and lurk comments? Well, I guess you'll have to type them in and find out, won't you? Well, there you go. That's what it is. I wonder if you got to type somebody's name after the hug. It was one of the commands that's already set up. It was fun. It looked fun. Who knows? Aww. For those of you who don't know what lurking means, it basically just means you're going to be watching the stream or not, or have it on but not really paying attention to it. That's all it means. It just means you're not going to be active in chat. It's usually good for moderators, so then that way the host knows that they're not there. But it's fun. I like the cute little cat faces. That's cute. I did not add those. They were totally part of the default. All right. Okay. See if I did this right this time. Yay. Facepalm. It's fun. Something fun. Alright, so I just finger pressed this, which is pretty flat. I mean, normally you'd want to press it with the regular iron, but to save time, I think we're just going to move on. This is the worst, is I have to put the machine down, cut this one strip, and then bring the machine back. That's alright. It's on a motor, so it's fine. Although I have to say the motor on this is pretty old, and I'm really worried that's going to go at some point, because I have no idea how to fix it. No idea. Well, I'm glad to see Streamlabs is working again. Alright, so let's get these cut up real quick. And then we might actually get to sewing something up together. Let's see. No. Nope, the next thing we're going to be doing is sewing up a bunch of 3.5 inch strips. So, I was wrong. One day. But now you guys see why I can't do these full-size quilts. Full-size quilts on my videos, because the video would be, I mean, what are we on? Week 3 already? When you see, Donna Jordan making her beautiful quilts that she makes, pay attention to the fact that she's changing her clothing 4 or 5 times throughout the video. So. Okay. Use this one. The tabletop ones are nice because then I can get those done in a single video or 2 videos usually. But the full-size ones is just way too much to try and do on one video, at least for me anyway. I'm not there yet. But back to your question, Lucas, about recommendations for starting out. First you want to learn how to use the machine before you really try to make anything with it. And the easiest thing to make would be a 4-patch pillow. It sounds silly, but it really is. And it's basically it's a pincushion, basically. It's just a 4-inch square. It's got 2.5-inch squares that you sew up together to make a 4-patch. So it's 2 and then 2. That's a 4-patch. And then you have a piece on the back. And so you just kind of fold it in and out. Maybe we'll do a video on it. Just for people to learn how. That might not be a bad idea. Good call. Hey, if you're at home this summer, maybe you can help with that video. We can teach someone new. But that's the best thing to start with. Something small. Pencil cases are good. Those teach you how to use zippers. Those are good ones. I've made a bunch of those. I plan to do one of those on the channel at some point. My one daughter made a pillow. Huge pillow. I mean, it's just massive. I've made tote bags, duffel bags. Those are all things you can do. Both of my daughters have taken sewing classes. Maybe just because they didn't want to take a real class, I'm not sure. Or maybe because they actually liked it, I'm not sure. They've all taken sewing classes. And I think I mentioned it before in another video, but when we were doing Hobby Sundays with the kids, 2 of our kids actually did sewing as their hobby. And at that time, I only had one sewing machine. So they would basically take over my sewing machine, and I had to do other things. But that's okay. This. I didn't, because I didn't press the seam, I'm kind of cutting everything upside down so that I can make sure that seam lays flat. I probably should have pressed it, but that's alright. Sounds like my husband's home again. Rotary cutter is another good tool to have, but not necessary. You can use scissors. People used to use scissors all the time. You don't have to have a rotary cutter. It does make life easier, but it's not necessary. And you don't have to have a fancy one like this one. You can have a nice cheap one like I had before. Worked just fine. I would definitely be trying in the summer, so. Wow. Like I said, if you need a machine, you know where I live. Okay, now I think we have those 12 pieces we were looking for earlier. Let me just count them out real quick. This is an extra piece. I don't want to get that mistaken. All right, so there's 2, 4. Oh, wait, no. This is because each subcut was 2, so it's actually only 1. So this is 1. I think I'm just confusing myself. I think there's enough here. Get these. If you are just joining us, we are working on the Yellow Brick Road quilt that we've been working on in the last couple of weeks. We have cut up some pieces into strips and then subcut them. There are two sizes of pieces. I don't want to give you the exact sizes because it's not my pattern, but there's a big size and a small size. So this first strip was one big and one small. We've just finished cutting those up, and now we're going to sew up two small sizes. We're just following the pattern. If you do ! pattern in the chat, it will give you a link to the Fat Quarter Shop where you can get the pattern yourself. And I'm sure the bot will show it up at some point in time. Okay, so let's set these aside. No, we are on step B. That's how fast we're going. Slow down. Step B. 3-inch strips. Okay. These are all the smaller strips. Thank you, Lucas. This is leftover fabric. These are the bigger strips here on this side. All right, so it says, stitch together assorted smaller strips in a variety of combinations. Press. Strip set should measure 6.5 by 21, which these will measure double that because I didn't cut the fabric in half. Because this pattern is for fat quarters, but I use fabric off the bolt, so it's twice as long. And it says we're going to need 16 strip sets. So 16 strip sets, 2 pieces per strip, so that's 32 strips. So let's count them out. 1. 2. 3. Now these are doubled because these are twice as long, so we wouldn't need to double count these. So that's this one's actually 2, 4, and 6. 8. And then these are smaller, so I actually have to count 2 of these. So 9, 10. Now I need 6 more. Lots of these black ones. So we're going to grab another black. I lost count already. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. We need 1 more strip. It's pretty yellow. Also, this week, I've purchased and received the background. I'm sorry, the backing fabric for this quilt. It's white daisies on a black background, which is very similar to all of these. Sorry, I got distracted. It's a black background, white daisies, really tightly together. It's really pretty. Unfortunately, it's in the other room, so I can't show you. I meant to grab it. And internet issues and, you know, everything else. So, okay. So now we have our strips. So to make my life a little easier, I think I'm going to actually cut these shorter. So then that way we can mix and match them a little bit more. So what did I do with my scissors? There. And thank you for that, Lucas. That was very sweet of you. All right. There's one. I think if you do exclamation point like, it'll give you that too. I think. If you are joining us, make sure you say hi in chat so we know you're there. We can say hello to you. Love to hear about what projects you are working on. I know which one I'm working on. And last one. And then we're just going to sew these strips up together, 1/4 inch seam. With quilting, you use a 1/4 inch seam. With apparel sewing, you use a 5/8 seam. And I think that's because then that way it can be serged, you know, extra. Hold it together, I guess. I don't know. Whenever I'm using sewing apparel, I always use a 1/2 inch seam because it's just easier to find on the machine. It's just probably why nothing ever fits. Okay. Got these strips. My ruler. What time is it? 12 o'clock? Okay. So this will be a shorter stream normally, only because we started so late. I was having such internet issues. I'll go till 12:30 today. I go till 12:30 because then that way there are 2 other streamers that usually go live on Sundays, and I don't want to compete with them. Sorry for the loud. It is loud. Turn the machine back on. The good news is we already have the right thread and the right needle. So we don't need to worry about that. Alright. So basically I'm going to take one from the top, and then I'm going to flip it over and take one from the bottom. And we're just going to sew them all together. Match up the edges and put it in the machine. Make sure you're sewing right sides together. That means the pretty side of the fabric. So this here is the right side. This here is the wrong side. And since I'm going to be sewing up a bunch in a row, I'm just going to leave that one in the machine and just sew up the next one. The next one is the same fabric, so I'm going to just grab this one instead. And then flip it back over and grab these two. Trying to put salvage edges together. Those are the edges of the fabric. You'll see they have little teeny tiny holes in them, and that's because of where the machine grabbed onto that fabric to start the printing process. That's called the salvage edge. You don't want to use that as part of your quilt. So I like to line up those edges together so that when I'm cutting off the trimming pieces, I get all the salvage edges together. All right. There we go. And again, I'm not stretching. Remember, if we pull, it stretches. We don't want to stretch. We just want to hold. Let the machine do the work. I'm just keeping an eye on the edge of the fabric here to make sure both pieces are lined up correctly. I'm just letting it feed in. I'm not even really holding. Just making sure it stays straight. All right, next up. Flip it again. Grab this one. And this is the one we didn't use before. Don't stress out too much when you're doing these scrappy type of quilts where like there's a bunch of pieces that just kind of, there's no real rhyme or reason to why they're together. You know, some quilts, pieces have to be together in a certain order for a certain reason. Like when we did the Bargello table runner that we finished up this last week, that one the pieces had to be in a certain order in order to get the design you were looking for. With a scrappy quilt like this, the pieces don't have to be in any order. They're just going to kind of be random. So don't stress out too much about what pieces are together and which ones aren't. Just make sure that the two of the same are not together, and that's all you need to worry about. Because you'll have time to rearrange all the blocks and stuff later. So that's why I just try and grab random pieces. I had to check to make sure I had right sides together. I almost forgot. All right. Great. This pretty yellow again. And now we go to this black. Salvage edges. I think this week I am going to start a new Facebook page for the channel. So then that way, in the event that situations like today occur, where I have internet issues and I can't go live, or new video posts, or there's a delay, or any of those things, or even for us to share the projects that we're working on, I think that a new Facebook group would be a good idea. So I think I'm going to try that. It'll probably be like me and 2 people, but that's all right. It'll grow eventually, right? Because right now I post a lot of stuff on my personal profile, but you know, all the people on the channel don't necessarily see that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, grab this one here. And that one there is going to match up with this yellow one. So I'm just going to flip that one over and grab the next one. And it's okay if you have two strips that have the same fabrics on them. It's fine. It's okay if you have two sets. You don't want two strips together, but two sets that have the same. It's fine. They don't have to be matched up perfectly, just close. Does anybody have any fun Easter plans? I know that's coming up here soon. 2 weeks, I think. Got that yellow, and now I'm going to grab this black. Go. Surprising my family by coming home for the weekend. Well, hopefully they don't watch this channel. That is an awesome surprise. I'm sure they will be happy to see you. Surprising family for a holiday is always a good thing. I swear I just saw somebody run across by my front door, but might have been the neighbor. Okay, next strip. These two. Salvage Edges. Sorry, no ditch. My allergies are making me crazy lately. The weather won't decide if it's going to be warm or if it's going to stay cold. So it's like one day you get to breathe, the next day you don't, then you can't again. blocked last one. Looks like we'll have a little bit of time to do some cutting again, but no blocks. Sorry, guys. I did not mean for that to be clickbait. I really thought we were going to get to some blocks today. This week's video is going to be a lot of fun because we have received Clue 9 of our Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt for Olympia. That's the purple and the lime green with the orange. I'm really excited because Clue 9 means we only have one clue left, which is really exciting. All right, and I already bought the background fabric for that one. So we're good to go as soon as that one is put together. The last clue will give us instructions on how to put it together. So I'm really excited. And then clue 3 is on its way. And I've also signed up for a mini puzzle mystery. It's going to be a table runner in orange. So that'll be fun. Okay. Let's finger press these towards the dark. And get them all ready to go. Turning the iron on because we're going to need to iron these, I think. So unfortunately, we're not going to get as much done today as I would have liked. I was really hoping to get a block done today. But, you know, let's blame the internet. Because it's annoying sometimes. Just glad I was able to figure it out. If you're just joining us, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are working on the yellow brick road. We have sewn up one set of strips and cut those. Now we're just sewing up a second set of strips. We're going to be cutting those, but first we have to press them. So I'm just finger pressing them first. That makes it easier to press them with the iron later. If you are interested in making this pattern yourself, you can do !pattern in chat, and it will give you a link to the Fat Quarter Shop where you can pick it up. Unfortunately, this fabric line is discontinued, so you're not going to be able to find the whole line, but you can find pieces of it if it's something you like. I also purchased a backing fabric to match this line. So it wasn't the exact same line, but it was similar to the same pattern. So if you are looking for daisies, I'm sure you can find another fabric line that would work just as well. Or any pattern or fabric that you want, actually. There's this one. If you guys are okay with it, I think I'd like to extend the stream by an extra 15 minutes and go till 12:45 instead of 12:30, if you guys are okay with that. That way we can still get our 2-hour stream in. Or at least an hour. I'm going to put the machine down now. We're going to be cutting these strips after we're done pressing them. So I'm going to just close that up for a minute. We turn the iron on so it's nice and hot. That weight is heavy. Mouse, I don't need you. I don't need you. Okay, let's press these up real quick. We can probably do 2 at a time. Lay them out right. If you have just joined us, make sure you say hi in chat. Let us know what you're working on. We'd love to hear about it. Now I had put some best press on these before, so they should still be pretty stiff from that, but I might need to pull it out again. We'll see. Okay. Apparently, there is a neighbor that has decided to turn on some really loud music. And it's right next to the camera, which also has a mic on it. So if you can hear that, I apologize. Apparently, it's a nice day out. It's Saturday, so they're going to jam. Which I'm not against, except for when I'm on a live stream. You know, that is what it is. Maybe I should make a sign to the front door. No, that would be weird, wouldn't it? Shh, I'm on live. Would be funny. So we're just pressing these up so that we can make sure that we get them to cut nice. Now the other ones that we cut up earlier were already pressed. I had pressed them the last time. We had only had that one strip that I didn't press. So. Cool. 2 more. This fabric line is called Oops a Daisy. You can do hashtag fabric in chat if you wanted to see the name. Like I said, it is obsolete though, unfortunately. I bought it a couple years ago when I went on a road trip with my kids. We stopped at one of the local quilt shops there. And my one daughter fell in love with it. So we bought it right on the spot. So what did you guys think of our Jello table runner we finished up this week on the channel? I'm not sure if you've had a chance to check out that video yet, but we finished that table runner. I thought it turned out a lot better than I expected. I was worried that the fabric colors just weren't gonna go, but they did. They actually turned out really well. I have the second one there that I need to put together. That'll probably do I don't know if I'll do it today because I've got some other stuff I gotta finish up. But I might start it today. We'll see. But that one I will probably put on my Etsy shop to sell. That was one of the things I decided to do as well, is that as we make projects that are not intended for specific people or they're extras, I will sell them on the Etsy shop. And all of the money that's sold towards those will go towards new fabric for new projects for the shop, for the channel. So because fabric is expensive. And as with everything else going up in the world, so has fabric. Last year was an average of $9 to $10 a yard. Some stuff was a little more expensive, but for the most part, it's 9 to 10. And now I'm seeing 10 to 11, sometimes even up to 13. So it's a little pricey, but you know, no hobby is cheap. Go. All right, now we can cut these up into pieces, because you know that's what we do in quilting. We take beautiful fabrics, we cut them up into itty bitty teeny tiny pieces, and then we sew them all back together. That's how we roll. And I have threads all over me again. This just becomes the thing. It's like animal hair. You know, if you have animals that shed, you know the feeling. No matter what you do, there's always animal hair everywhere. So in my sewing room, no matter what you do, there's always threads. Always. It's one of the constants in life. Alright, so now we're going to line up the fabric the same way we did before. Picking a line on my mat to keep it nice and straight. I don't necessarily use my mat to measure, but I do use my mat to keep things straight. So now, because these have the seams in the middle, I don't want to put them right on top of each other, because then you'll get this huge bulk right there, and the ruler will like rock on it, and you don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to stagger them a little bit. So we're just going to take this piece and just go up just a little bit so it's not right on top of it. And then we're still going to line it up with the edge there. And then we do the next one. And this also allows you to be able to sew multiple pieces at one time, depending on how many layers you're comfortable cutting through. So cut through. So I'm going to just line those up there. I can probably do one more. I am comfortable cutting up to 4 layers. I have cut more than 4, but it's not something I'm particularly comfortable with. So I like to try and avoid it if I can. All right. Got my longer ruler. First cut we make is always to cut off those salvage edges. Looks like I've got some on line here. Let me line this one up quick. Excuse me. There we go. That's a little bit better. So it's usually about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch that you end up having to cut off for those salvage edges. Which is okay. Because we get it all lined up anyway. There we go. directions first. I think I know what I'm doing. Yes, same sizes. There's basically only two sizes to all this. We cut up the strips, or we cut up the fabric into strips. Those strips are the same size as the pieces that we're not cutting before, and now again. So that's the good news, is you really only need to know two measurements. Makes it easy. Excuse me. I'm a little sleepy. There we go. Uh-oh. Fabric shifted. So I've been using this Martelli cutter for a little while now. You guys saw me about a month ago right on the channel. And I really like it. I've used your standard normal rotary cutter before, and it worked. There was nothing wrong with it. But I do really like, I can understand the hype for this Martelli cutter now. I can completely understand it. There it is again. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I apologize if you can. It is my next door neighbor. And unfortunately, the camera, which has the mic on it, is right next to the window. Sorry. Look at that, Lucas. 300 points. I haven't set up any prizes for those just yet, but I will. For those of you who don't know what the thimbles are, while you are watching the channel, you are also earning thimbles. And those thimbles can be redeemed for other prizes. Gift cards, fat quarters, bobbin, spools of thread, stuff like that. You know, that relates to the channel. And you will also be able to play a mini game. It's a heist game where basically you decide how many points you're willing to lose, and you play a game to see if you've won anything. So lots of fun. It's an opportunity for you to earn more points and support the channel at the same time. I'm going to slide this around. mentioned it before, but whenever I get towards the end of a cut, I like to spin it around and cut it backwards. So basically all my extra fabric is now on this side of my cutting mat instead of on this side. That way the ruler has more to sit on. It takes a minute to kind of figure out what you're doing though, because you gotta cut it backwards. So basically my ruler is upside down. So I have to read it back upside down. But it does help keep the cut straight. There we go. There we go. There's one. All right. Well, normally I would be ending this stream at 12:30, but I'm going to go an extra 15 minutes because I feel bad that the stream started late. It probably started about half an hour, almost 45 minutes late. Internet issue. But I'm going to go for at least 15 more minutes, so hopefully we can get these cut up and maybe get one block somehow. Let's see. I really want to get at least one done. Let's see. Line these up. Okay. I don't really know what's happening outside, but it's really loud and obnoxious. And I'm really sorry. So I try to do these early so that we don't have all this extra noise, but my house is not soundproof. I'm taking my time to line these up to make sure that they're straight when I line them up, so then that way they cut straight too. Takes me a minute. All right. So if you want to know how many thimbles you're earning, just do like Lucas did there and just type in exclamation point thimbles, and it will tell you how many you've won so far. Oops. That was bad. Oh, come on. What happened? Oh, why are you being so dumb today? Let's try that. There we go. Ruler was upside down. There we go. There's one. I haven't seen any notifications about Becca going live. She usually goes live on Fridays, but I know she took Friday off. Family or something. So I thought she said something about she was going to go on Friday or Sunday, but I haven't seen anything. So Usually it's about 1 o'clock when her and Teresa go live. I don't have a link for Teresa's channel in chat yet. I haven't set hers up yet. But I do have Sobeca's. If you're interested, you can just do exclamation point Sobeca, all one word. BECCA. SEWBECCA. And it will bring you to a link to her channel. You can check out her channel later today. See if she's going to be live. If not, she has a ton of videos. I mean, way more videos than I do. She's awesome. She did a video last week on her about her health and wellness quilt that she's making. She talked about well, she touched on it. She didn't really talk about it, but she touched on mental health and how it can affect your hobbies and things. And I thought it was a really good section. So if you have a chance, check that out. I really enjoy her channel. How is it that we have so much extra? Seems so odd. Something doesn't seem right. Hold on, guys. Something's not adding up. That's why I didn't do the other big piece. Okay, so I did another small instead. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see what I did wrong. There's always something. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, that one's actually pretty good. Alright, let's try this again. I forgot to cut the second big piece. So I cut the small ones. But not the second big one. That's why it looked like there was going to be so much extra fabric. I'm like, wait a minute. Something's not right here. One more. And then we might get to put a block together. Let's see. Now some people would say, Danny, just use the back end of the ruler and count backwards, which would normally work. Except most rulers are not a 6-inch ruler. They're actually 6.5. So there's an extra 1/2 inch on the end. So that's why I flip it over. Now I could do the math and just look and subtract that 1/2 inch, but I don't want to. Excuse me. Piece is big enough to hang on to, so we'll hang on to that. Okay, I think we have enough pieces. let's see. Step C. We are on the second page, guys. The second page. Oh, it says stitch. Stitch the assorted large and small step B units together as shown in a variety of combinations. Sweet. Stitch the assorted step B units. Step B. It's these here. Okay. So we're not making... Are we making a block? No, but we're close. Alright, we'll do a couple of these few minutes. And then we will have something to pick up on when we come back. And once again, I gotta bring the machine up. So one or two of these up together so you guys can see what we're working with. Okay, now it said step B. Let's make sure we're doing this right here. Okay, so step A was those over there. This is step B. These are the smaller ones. Okay, just wanted to make sure I was doing it right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bigger cuts. And I always say this stuff like I actually know what I'm doing. I don't have a clue. Learn it with you guys. All right. So take this one here. Go like that. And then we're going to take this one here. And we're going to sew it to the top. So it's going to look like, if I can get it to show on the camera, like that. Obviously it's straighter. So let's do that. Now the only thing we have to do is we have to make sure that we don't grab two of the same blocks. So we just want to make sure we have a variety of fabrics. Easy enough. So we'll do a few of these before we end for the day. Let me just show you guys what this one looks like. And we're said to press them down. So, right. First one. It's not a full block. It's pretty close though. So we're getting there. All right, let me sew up a couple of these. And then we'll have to say see you later. There's one. Like I said, we just want to make sure that we're not grabbing two of the same sets of fabrics and then we're not putting the two fabrics together. So since these two are both yellows, I'm going to actually sew this one to the top of the black. That way we don't have the same fabrics together. That's all we need to worry about. Well, guys, I think that's all for today. I'm glad that we got a little bit of sewing in today. We didn't get a full block completed, but that's all right. We're getting there. Yeah, this one is, I guess. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely. We're getting through it. But you guys can start to see what a full-size quilt takes. I mean, we're at what, 6 hours now? Of course, there's some chatting in between and some, technical difficulties. But we're working through it. I want to thank you guys for joining me today, even through all of the technical crap that we had to deal with. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Lucas, for all of your help today and every day. Thank you. And I think I'm going to leave you here, guys. I'm going to put these away. We'll finish these up next week. I should be doing a live next week. We'll finish these up next week, and we're getting to a point where we're going to actually start putting real blocks together, because I think that was the last of the subcutting. Everything else is sewing now. Almost. Looks like we got one more. Alright, guys, I'm going to say goodnight, or goodbye, I guess, and I will see you guys next week. Don't forget, new video goes up live on Thursday. It will be clue 9 of the puzzle mystery quilt that we're working on, Olympia. One more to go, and then we can see what that one looks like. So that'll be a lot of fun. Alright, guys, I will see you soon. Thank you again for joining me. Talk to you later. Bye.